Howdy y'all, and welcome to Lax Lives. I think it's time to play a little 7 Days to Die. Man, I feel like I should finish off this edge here a little bit. So I need to get down and do some more blades down below. Try and get this thing up and going. Well, I mean, it's up and going, but protected. So what do I need here? Blade traps. Blade trap. I need forged iron, which I have plenty of. Forged steel, which I have plenty of for what I'm doing. I need mechanical parts. I have electrical parts. And oil. Mechanical parts and oil. Alright, so I should have enough to make like 3 blades here. Which I think will hopefully be enough for what I'm doing. I have a lot of stuff on me here. Oh, look, I got a robotic turret again. I got 2 robotic turrets. Actually, I should probably plant some of those. Come on. Seven. 6.2 ammo? Man, I still haven't found the higher end ammos yet. Well, apparently I just used up all my brass. But I'm back over 2 stacks of ammo again, so that's good. Lead. Anyway, I just saw something pop up in there. We'll put this in here. Got a lot of stuff, man. Okay, and then we'll just drop off the clay in here. Keep some of that on me. Got parts shoved up in here. Shouldn't be up in here. Yeah. 4,000 sand hanging out. Tons of extra bottles. Alright, I think we're good. I think we're good. So, man, I spent hours this weekend again in the Starfinder roles. I think I'm just about ready to go. I went through 3 of the books. I mean, I didn't go closely through the 3rd book, I guess, but I did go through 2 of the books, which are rules books. And then the last one is like the creature manual. It tells you about all the monsters, which I don't need so much because, I mean, yes, I will need the book, but I don't need to know precisely what's in the book because I'm doing a pre-made campaign for our first foray into the Starfinder universe. And so I don't necessarily need to know every in and out of every monster at this time and date because the book will say, this monster goes here. And then I can just, you know, look at that particular monster. Although I did tell them that we're probably not gonna be diving into the monster book for races because there are like 30. Oop, oop, it doesn't like this building. Oh, it really doesn't like this building. Zombies spawning in. I don't like the building either, man. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not a fan of how it causes my computer to have a heart attack every time I get near one of these rubbled buildings. So I assume there must be some zombies got added to the screen here. And then today, I do the humble bundle stuff, right? And so I get emails from them all the time. Oh, I already got those. About their new bundles. And today was a new mapping bundle that included space stuff for a program I already have, which is awesome. Since I definitely could use that for our current campaign. So I might get a chance to, what is that? Oh. Might get a chance to look at that a little bit tonight, maybe. Ooh, a crossbow. I think that might be the first crossbow I've found. I don't know if I've used... This used to be my go-to weapon. Crossbow. And then of course I switched to rifles with a scope. I decided it was worth the extra effort. But yeah, so it's really cool. I think that has a whole section on like starship mapping and stuff because, well, we're about to play Starfinder, and I already do need a map for the game we're playing. It suggests some maps, but they want like $10 for 2 maps. And I'm like, I'll try and doodle something together maybe. And now I can. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't installed any of it yet. I've got to download it. It's a lot. It's a lot of space. A lot of downloads. But I am looking forward to that. Everybody, well, two of the 3 people I play with seem pretty excited for the new Starfinder stuff. The other one is like, oh yeah, no, that seems interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna watch some videos on how to play the game before we start. Yeah. And then everybody's like, I'm so excited for this new space campaign. Of course, that one would be the other DM, right? He's not too keen. I mean, I'm sure he wants to play, but I think he's maybe a little. I mean, we're well versed in D&D for the most part. I mean, obviously, we still have to look up rules and stuff. We don't have them memorized or anything like that, but we're familiar. Oh, familiar with it to the point where. All right. Well, I thought maybe I could get around there easily, but no. And so I think that he's a little less keen on a new system because he doesn't know the ins and outs and hasn't spent hours scouring the internet for how to cheat the game like he has with the other system. Because he definitely has scoured the other game for cheats. I mean, he did that for the first campaign we ever played. Basically, Googled what's the cheatiest wizard, and then made that wizard to use in the first campaign we ever played in 5e. All right, I've been in here already. You know what I need to do is I need to look for some more of those fancy houses. That's where I got all my recipe here recently. I don't think there's a lot. Maybe over here. But I know, like, we're loading in the rubble, loading in the zombies, whatever it is that causes that. The thing is, though, is that when you talk to him about that kind of stuff, you know, he says, like, oh, no, you don't understand. Like, this guy is set up so that if any really super powerful rolls come against you, or if, like, you're attacking a bad guy and you need to hit him and you don't roll well enough to hit him, well, I can substitute what I rolled at the beginning. I get to take 2 rolls, one for the high and one for the low, and then I can substitute in one high roll and one low roll every day with this character. And so, you know, when you go to hit and you miss, then I can say, oh, no, he's going to use my roll. That never happened. He never used his rolls like that. He only used the rolls for his character. And not even on good things. One of the things that our DM let him do was to try to persuade NPCs to give him things, and that's what he would use his rolls for. I'm gonna try and persuade this guy to give me the books he has. I'm like, no, that's just no. And so my roll is going to be the number that I rolled earlier. I rolled a 19. And so I'm going to use that as my persuasion roll, which with my stats gives me a plus 72 because of this potion or this item or this spell, or, you know. And you're just like, hey, you don't need those books. You don't need them. You're just wasting our time at this point. I know the other day we talked about, we were chit-chatting about how irritated I was that his bad guys always run away. The guy I was talking with was like, "Oh yeah, he did that during our game a lot." I'm like, "Ooh, that is still the maddest I've ever been." That time when he ran away and left us all to die. He still defends his actions on that. You understand, I thought that I was protecting the item that we couldn't let them have. Dude, we had no idea there were items that we couldn't let them have. Like, you're just making that up at this point. There's a fancy house right there. There's one right there too, I think. There's one right here too. It's a little bit closer. I say it's fancy, but it might not be once I get up to it. But yeah, so I am looking forward to this Starfinder stuff. Now this is broke down. This is a broke down house. Oh no, it's not. It might be alright inside. Yeah, right there's what I want. Some books here in this bookcase. Ugh, I already know that one. I want some of this ammo stuff I don't have yet. Really? This door is locked to me? I don't think a couple of steroids makes that worth it. Empty shelves. Empty shelves everywhere. Empty shelves. Where's your bookcases, man? Secret meth lab. Think I need your broken glass. Is there not a second floor to this place? I guess not. Not as fancy as I thought it would be. Alright, we'll try this one over here then. Yeah, they it's an interesting comparison looking through those rules. They're very similar in how they play while being very different. So like, oop, we're loading stuff in. Ooh, I might die. Or I might not. Oh, that's thirsty. I thought I was bleeding. Like, looking at classes and races and stuff, the comparison between them, it's got like this whole different but very similar setup in how they connect the way they connect together. And so like the in D&D, which is the one I'm most familiar with, you choose a class, and then your class, basically every level you go up, you get class features, or when you get to level 3, you choose a subclass, and so then you get subclass features, but they're still within your class. And so like you might be a fighter, for example, and then within fighter you choose like champion fighter, and so the champion fighter gets different subclass abilities than the Battlemaster fighter, for example. Um, and so, I mean, without looking it up, there, certain levels you get class features, which every fighter has, and then other levels you get subclass features, which only your subclass gets. And what? He's not. He's behind a door, man. And so Starfinder doesn't work like that necessarily in the same way, and so it's very class dependent, or very, I don't know, like there's an operative class, right? And so the operative class has got M60, huh? It's not really my kind of gun, I don't think. I feel like that's going to be a bit more beastly than I tend to use. I'll take it though and check it out. And so not only do you choose a class like mechanic, but within mechanic, oh no, it's about operative, right? So operative has got the operative class, and then within the operative class, you get operative tricks, and there's a whole bunch of them, but you're only allowed to choose so many as you level up. And so that shapes your operative and what kind of abilities they have. And then on top of that, there's also the operative type. And so it's like, and then on top of that, you also have a theme. So in D&D, you have a background. And so it's not the same, but they're a similar concept. So like a background in D&D, you might be a background of a soldier. And so then your soldier becomes a more powerful creature. Because the idea in D&D is that you start as you have developed what makes you basically a superhero, right? A normal person in D&D does not have the special abilities that your character has, and even just a fighter, a level 1 fighter, is more powerful than a guard, even though they do the same kind of thing, right? They both carry a sword and fight things. Great heist. Let's see. Use adrenaline. To full advantage, you can fall up to 15 meters without taking damage while carrying 5,000 dukes or more. Okay. Slumber party. It's best to come late to the party, do an extra 50% sneak damage to sleeping victims at night. How does that apply to this game? When did I ever come across someone who was sleeping at night in this game? Does that mean like at night when zombies are laying down and I shoot them from a distance that I do extra damage to them? Because otherwise I have no idea how that would apply. Like that right there. See, that zombie was not aware of me. It's not nighttime though, so. And so like a soldier gives you some starter stuff. Like, ooh, steel boots might be good. Like, extra proficiencies, which are, you get to roll, when you roll, you get to add extra to a result in something you're proficient in. So like you might be proficient in sleight of hand, right? So if you do a sleight of hand thing, then your proficiency from, I don't know, charlatan, for example, would let you add to the roll. So little things like that in D&D. In Starfinder, your theme, which is the same kind of concept, it's the thing you come from, provides you with abilities as you level up. So that's quite a bit different. So there's a lot overlaid in the classes. It's a lot more complicated class-wise, it seems like, than in D&D. D&D 5th edition, of course, has been designed to make it easier to play the game. And so they streamlined a lot of the stuff down. And so this is a step backwards. This is Starfinder is based off of 3.5 edition of D&D, so it's a more complicated game because you had, right, Dungeons and Dragons, and then they went to Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and then edition 3 was the attempt to, I believe version 3 was the attempt to not streamline second edition rules, but to coalesce them into a cohesive system. Because I get the feeling that second edition D&D, they kept adding to it, and the more they added to it, the more broken-ish it became because the rules weren't overlapping well. And so version 3 was the attempt to corral all that. And then 3.5 was the corralling of 3 with new additions and stuff to it. And so this is based off that with some streamlining to those rules, and then also, you know, additional rules to make it work in as a space-based combat system kind of thing. And so it's very different to go, oh yeah, my guy came from as an acolyte from the church, and so therefore he has bonuses to religion, and starts with a prayer book and a vestment. And then I choose cleric as my class, and so therefore in my cleric I choose the type of cleric I am, and so now it's cleric stacked on top of each other. Whereas this is like, yeah, my guy is a pilot who was, you know, hired into an organization to be an operative, which is kind of like their spy soldier thief thing. I mean, there's a soldier class that's more like the I'm a guard kind of soldier, but you know, an operative is the slicker kind. Um, you know, Snake Eyes to the Duke, and so then you got, you know, the pilot gives you like piloting skills, and as you level up, those piloting skills get better and better. And then and they're like major. They're not like minor abilities. They're really major, especially like reading through the piloting ones. One of the things in the game that's different from D&D is that there's a lot of things you can't do if you don't have training in them, which makes sense, given that it's a more technologically based game, concept-wise. Like if you want to persuade someone, anyone can try to persuade someone, right? But if you want to repair a spaceship, you probably should know what you're doing. And so one of the things is most of the classes have something along these lines, in that if it matches what that class is associated with, they can just do it without the training. They just take a penalty to the attempt because they're not specifically trained in it, but they can still attempt it, which other people can't do at all. And then, so the piloting does that. Um, when you're in combat with a spaceship, different people have different jobs, and so there's the pilot job, there's the captain job, there's the engineering job, there's the science officer job, there's the soldier job. A pilot can do any of those, whereas like an engineer might not be able to pilot the ship because they don't have any skills in piloting, right? Uh, and then a pilot just can, after a certain level, can attempt anything related to piloting or maintaining a ship, because they've been around, right? And so I thought that was interesting for their themes. And then uh, I felt like I had more stuff to throw in there, but I don't. So then, and then the class, like the class for D&D is a class and then a subtype for that class. And for Starfinder, it's you pick a class, and then one part of the class you're going to pick a few options from as you level up. And then there's usually like a major choice, which focuses what kind you are, kind of like a subclass. And then usually there's like a third thing on top of that, all within the class that focuses how your abilities go up. So, like an operative has different operative types. A mechanic is, because I've looked more at the mechanic because I played a mechanic in the starter kit when we played it here. A mechanic, for example, big choice is: are you a drone mechanic? So you have a small robot that follows you around, and depending on what you put into it, what it can do. Or are you the I have a cybernetic implant kind that gives me, better access to technology in my brain, an echo cortex. Echo cortex? I think that's what they're called. And so are you the guy that fixes things, or are you the guy that hacks computers? Not that the guy who fixes things can't also hack computers, but the guy who hacks computers might also have an echo cortex that gives them better access to skills to do that. Or it could be, do you carry data in your head? Do you, it doesn't make you a better tracker. It's and so there are different directions that the mechanic can go on. So it's pretty complicated looking through their classes, because a single class, they usually have at the end of the section for a particular class, they'll be like, here's an example of combining this class with these choices and this theme. And so, there's a difference between a saboteur mechanic who specializes in explosives and demolition and that kind of thing, and the starship mechanic who specializes in repairing vehicles, right? Very different, same class. Different abilities, different skills, all of that. Um, and then the like in D&D, you get there's only like, I don't know, 20, 25 skills. And there's probably the same ish in Starfinder. But in Starfinder, your class tells you which ones you can pick as being trained in. And then you have to decide whether or not you're trained in them with the few skill points you get to spend each level. And And so that's different than D&D, because in D&D they tell you which ones you're skilled in for the most part, and Starfinder has a bigger selection of things you've been trained in. Oops. I'm just gonna shoot my base while I'm standing up here. All right, well, I think this is where I'm gonna call it. We've got some good stuff from looting, and hopefully this gives my base enough time to make my things. Yep, got my blade traps for next time. Still working on some of that ammo, but it'll get that done, and hopefully. Got that cement finished, got that concrete finished. So yeah, so we should be able to finish off a little bit of concrete and get those blade traps down next time. All right, with that, be better than small things, lean the light. I will talk to you later.